fabulous day. So fingers crossed that this is filming in the right way this week. My name's Chrissy Graham and I am from Brisbane, Australia, and I am a Stampin' Up demonstrator, and I hope that you're going to enjoy tonight's project. Okay, let me just see that we're on and that I can see the live chat. I'm hoping that I can. All right, let me see. All right. I'm hoping that everything's going according to plan. It looks like it to me, but who would know? Just trying to make sure we are live. Let me just share this. Copy link. That looks better, thanks Jody. That looks better, thanks Jody. I'm glad it's looking better. I can't see the live chat. Oh, I've got to work out how to do that. Well, we'll do one thing at a time. How are you, Jody? You're the only one watching me today. Oh, hi, Glenda. Thanks for joining. How are you? Hope everyone had a lovely Valentine's weekend, whether you have a Valentine or not. Ours didn't quite go according to plan. I had booked lunch for Steve and I, and we he had to work, so I had to cancel our lunch. So that wasn't particularly fun. He did manage to have a couple of hours off so we could go and buy my niece a birthday present, but yeah. Okay, so we can see, everyone can see me. I'm not going the wrong way. Let's just see if I can go incognito over here. I'm hoping that everything is going to work. Okay. All right. So today I shared on my Facebook page this little cute little fun fold card. And I thought, well, it'd be really nice to show you how to make a different version of that. So we're going to make it with an online exclusive product that came out last year, the end of last year, but I completely missed it. So it's called the Hobby Haven. So anyone who is doing my class on Saturday, our orders arrived today, so all the paper and everything arrived, so I was so excited about that because I was getting a little bit worried. Anyway, this is the paper. Now it has all different hobbies in it, so it's got, it's well used because I've prepared it for class. So it's got cooking, it's got sewing, like the other side's a patterned. There are, what else are there? There are, so there's cooking, sewing, books. That's my favourite page. And then there is sort of wellness sort of things. Then big comfortable chairs and plants. How cute is that? And so it's really nice paper. But I have my nephew's wife's birthday is coming up, and I want to be able to give her a birthday card, and she loves cooking. Well, no, she loves baking. So I thought we would use that Hobby Haven designer series paper. Now it has some dies and a stamp set and some embellishment as parts of the suite. I don't know if we'll use the embellishments, but we're definitely not using the dies and the stamp set today. We're going to use something else. Because today is all about using what we have and combining our stash. All right. So let's get started. So what we're going to need is the base card. So I've trimmed this a little bit less than half an A4 just to make the measurements to the nearest 1/4 inch, because it just makes it so much easier than having to go, oh, it's 14.9 centimeters or it's 5 7/8. Let's just put it to the nearest 1/4 inch, and it just makes it easier. So this one here is 8 inches by 4 3/4 inches. And then this one is 5 1/4 inches by 8 inches. All right, so this one here, we're going to score, we'll do the scoring when we get to them, when we start making the card. I've also got, it's going to be a bit of a choose our own adventure. I've got a piece of the Hobby Haven paper, and this is obviously the baking one, and it's 3 7/8 by 5 1/4. It will be cut down a little bit shorter, but I wanted to give myself plenty of paper just in case. Then I have 6 squares that, now you can do the same pattern, or you can do 3 of each, or you can do 2 of each. It doesn't matter as long as you've got end up with 6. And these pieces are 1 7/8 by 1 7/8, so they're perfectly square. All right. Then now the beautiful thing about this paper is that it has pop out die cuts. So, and then you can also fussy cut around some pieces. So I fussy cut around some cake pieces. I've got die cuts as well. So I've just picked up a bunch. I was sitting there watching Tipping Point while I'm cutting these little pieces. Now some of them have gone off the edge, and that's okay. So I'm going to just pop these back into my trusty tray now, so I don't lose them. All right, so just remind me that they're in the trusty tray, because we don't need them till right at the very end. Okay. Then we have, I'm going to use the Simply Said stamp set, because I want to, this is from the annual catalogue. In Australia it's $30. It is from, it's from the annual catalogue, and I just want to use that happy birthday and let's celebrate, because the stamps that come with the suite, the Hobby Haven suite, do not have a happy birthday in it, but we might use those little stars. We'll just wait and see. Okay, so we've got those. The other thing I need to do is to have a piece for the front for my image to go on. So in this case, I use the stylish shapes, but we're going to mix it up a bit today. So I have cut an everyday arch die in the white. So that's whatever, you can use whatever shape you use, as long as it will go across all 3 panels. So it needs to be at least 3.5, well, I think at least 3.5 inches high. And I've cut 2 mats for that. I've cut a basic grey one, and I've also cut a Coastal Cabana one. Now, no, this one's Summer Slash, that's Coastal Cabana, all right? I've also cut an arch on the back. So I've cut a white and and these 2 are from Everyday Arches. It's a bit dirty, but anyway, we're going to be sticking stuff on those. So we'll put them aside for now. All right. Just want to see. So I just can't see. If you're watching, make sure you comment. Tell me how your Valentine's was. I'm trying to keep the comments. I'm trying to see the comments. And as we go through, so I might have to go incognito on my iPad to be able to see my comments. Let's see. All right, let me see. Okay. I'm thinking we're live now. I did share it. I don't know. I don't like technology, let me tell you that. Sometimes it cooperates and you do all your little checklists and then you still don't get it exactly how you want it. All right, I can see now. Okay, can I see the chat? Yeah, it's not doing anything. All right, okay. So, I'm just seeing. All right. You're trying to multitask while you're watching TV. Okay. Okay. That's great. All right. So let's just see how to put this together. Sorry, that took a couple of minutes. So the first thing we're going to do is our base card. And look, I've even got Post-it notes with the instructions on it. So we're going to take our base card and first up, we're just going to score it in half. It's not rocket science, it's just nice and easy. So and it's going to be scored in half on the long side. So that's at the 4-inch mark. Okay. Let's see, I might get a bit more light on the subject here. Let me see. Oops. No, that's not going to work. Oh dear. I forgot to turn my light on, so sorry if it's a little bit dark. All right. So, I'm just having a look here. We've just scored that, so it's scored in half, and we're going to fold it the opposite way to the score line. So what that does is that just loosens our fibre, and it doesn't allow your card to crack. Okay, that's why you want to fold it the opposite way. Right, so that's our base card. So we're just going to pop that out the way. Then we're going to take our next card. This is our part of our thing. This is our 5 1/4 by 8 inch. So they're the same width, but this one is going to be smaller. So we're going to just get our scorer back again. Then we're going to score it at 4 inches. And then we're going to move that along and score it at 6 inches. Okay. All right. So we've got 4 inches and 6 inches. So this will be this front part of the card. The one thing I did forget is to score this one at 2 inches. So we're going to do that now too, because we want it to go the right way. So the base card is going to be scored at 2 inches and 4 inches, and the layer is going to be scored at 4 inches and 6 inches. All right. So this base layer here, this is our base layer, so we'll put that aside. We're going to turn that light. So that's the base. Okay. Then we're going to turn this card that is at 4 inches and 6 inches, and we're going to turn it at 90 degrees, and we're going to cut it 2 inches, cut 2 inches off, and then we're going to cut it again at 2 inches. Did I do that wrong? Oh, I did it wrong. Okay. I should have done it at 1 3/4 inches. All right. Okay. And then this one, we're going to cut it at 1 3/4 inches as well. Okay. Which means our little squares are going to be the wrong size. Oh dear, I've had a day, you know. And our middle bit's going to be smaller. So you're going to pretend that the middle bit is the same width as the other two, all right? Oh God. Oh dear. Maybe I should just start that bit again. It's all right. So we've got these, so we've got they should be all of those two. That should be 1 3/4 inches. And that one's 1 3/4 inches. Is that still 2? Yep. So we've got 2 pieces. They should all be the same width, all right? I'm just having a moment. Okay. So these are going to fold that way and that way. That way and that way. So we're going to fold it like that. Okay. And it's not a big deal if they're not all exactly even. You just adjust the size of your cards, your paper to suit, okay? All right. Can't believe I did that. Hi Megan, how are you? Cooking dinner, I hope it was something good. Hope you're eating it now. All right, so yep, I've already stuffed up my card. Well, I haven't stuffed it up, I've just done my measurements wrong. And you know, it's completely okay. All right, sometimes you just have to go with the flow. So now, we know that that piece is 4 inches wide. and we know it's 1 3/4 inches. So what I want to do is I want to cut, because this has a pattern, I'm going to cut this piece here into 3, but because I haven't cut my base into 3 equal pieces, because I messed it up and I don't have backups up here, we're going to just wing it a little bit. Oh, fettuccine, chicken fettuccine, that sounds nice. So we are going to, because that was 1 3/4 inches, we want this first piece to be 1 5/8 inches. Okay, so we're not going to have a huge border. See? Oh, perfect, just like I bought one. Okay, then the next one, because we know that one's a little bit narrower, so that's only 1 1/2 inches because I messed up. But when you do it at home, you'll get it right. Okay, we want to make this one 1 3/8 inches. And this bit in the middle's not really going to matter because you aren't going to see very much of it. Okay. Okay, so you can see that the pattern is, I'm keeping the pattern the way that I want it to be on the card because it's a directional one. If you have a non-directional paper, then you don't have to worry about keeping it right. So this piece here is 1 3/4 inches. So we're going to make our pattern paper. We're going to cut it at 1 5/8 inches. And I'm just going to put the other piece aside. I might use that to decorate the envelope later. Alright, so we've got our pattern. Okay, so we're going to just have to, these, I'm just going to have to cut these down a little bit because I cut my strips wrong. I meant to cut them all at 2 inches, alright? So I'm just going to cut them down to, I'm going to cut 4 of them so that they're 1 5/8 inches high. And because this is a non-directional pattern, so it doesn't really matter that it's not all lined up. So you could opt to do a different pattern. I hope I'm not too far off the screen. I'm just going to cut this one at 1 5/8 of an inch high. Now you could go to the nearest ½ centimetre if you like. If you want to work in centimetres, just go to the nearest ½ centimetre. Don't try and do the whole 1/4 centimetre thing. It just makes it too complicated. So this one, we know that this piece here is 1 3/8. So these ones need to be 1 3/8. These two pieces need to be 1 3/8 high. I thought I was all organised, you know. I was thinking it was really clever. Yeah, Megan, we had a speedy spaghetti, and I swear it took Steve 15 minutes to cook it. It was amazing. It was a HelloFresh one though, but it was just beautiful. Love it. And Delphi was very disappointed because she did not get any. Okay, so before we go any further, we're going to stick these pieces onto their respective strips so that we do not lose them. Okay, so if you have got a silicone craft mat. This is a great time to grab it. If somebody has rearranged your desk and you don't have a silicone craft mat on hand, get a piece of scratch paper. Now, we don't know anyone who would do that. Okay, I have got my silicone craft mat here, so I'm perfectly happy today. I tell you, sharing a desk it's a speedy spaghetti vegan. So it had cherry tomatoes and basil and beef and I don't know what else he put in it. It was just really nice. Because Tuesday night Steve was in charge of the cooking. And at about 5 o'clock I said, I am so hungry. So we had a very, very early tea. But it took 15 minutes and it was so delicious. And he's like, oh, you're going to order that one next week? But we won't be ordering that next week. We'll order something else. And I know next week we're not ordering tacos for the 4th week in a row. I had a bit of a run on tacos. So we've had, for 4 weeks, they've delivered all the ingredients for us to make tacos. So next week we're not having tacos because I'm a bit over them. But they've all been all different tacos. There's been chicken tacos and beef tacos and pork tacos and fish tacos. Awesome. Anyway, but yeah, I've had enough of tacos for a few weeks. Maybe I'll get some when we go to Sydney, Megan. All right. Okay, so we've got this one. This is our bottom one. Okay, so what we're going to do with this bottom one is we are going to stick a bit there and so we're going to stick this piece onto that front flap and that piece onto the back flap like that. But we'll finish sticking together our other pieces first. Okay. So this is looks like it's a really hard card. And if you get the measurements right the first time when you're cutting, check twice, cut once, measure twice, cut once. Is that what it is? It is really easy. So now I've just left an 1/8 of an inch border. If you wanted to do a 1/4 inch border, you are more than welcome to do that. I just wanted more paper. Oh, one pan chicken and broccoli lasagna. Oh, that sounds really nice. So the big news in the Stampin' Up world today is that Stampin' Up announced that tomorrow they are having free shipping, well, tomorrow in Australia. So from the 18th to the 20th, in whatever market you're in, they are having free shipping. So in Australia, it's for orders over, and I've forgotten, I wrote it down and didn't bring that post-it with me. But it's for qualifying orders. So I think it's, I don't know. Anyway, but the awful thing is that one of my new team members, she placed her very first order yesterday and we didn't know that free shipping was coming until today. So now I feel really bad because I didn't know, and that's out of my control, but I like for people to be able to save money. And yes, they don't always, it was a bit of a surprise for free shipping. I didn't even see it on the calendar anywhere. Yeah. Megan, do you know how much the cut-off amount is for free shipping? Because it's different in every market. So, like, I want to say 65, but I don't think that that's right. Yes, I know, Glenda. It is 65. Oh. I was just pulling that, Jodie, I was pulling that number out of my hat. Yeah, Glenda, I know it's not my fault, but, you know, you want to look after your team. Okay. So, here we go. We're almost done with our little pieces. Now, if you don't want to have a pattern like what I've used, and you want to mix and match patterns, you can do that too. I just had Ellen ask me how to make this card and asked me if she could case it, and I thought, well, the bug one, my praying mantis card. So I thought, well, this would be really nice to do in the Hobby Haven, and it'd be good for the ladies who come into my Saturday class because they're getting a pack of cardstock. And they might like this as an inspiration as well. Now, the Saturday class I'm running Saturday will be videoed and will be available for sale after the class next week. Oh, you're looking, Megan. Oh. Okay, so let's now put our little pieces in order. I like to start with the back one, all right? So, and I'm going to start, so I do, when I'm putting together a card, I do the top and the bottom, and then I do the middle one. And then I can get it where I want it. Now, in my original card, I had my piece flush with the top, but because these are a bit smaller, I can move it down about 1/4 inch. And that will mean that there's a less gap between the outside two and the center one. Okay. About 1/4 inch. So I'm just doing all of my right hand side ones first. And it's a bit hard to see doing tone on tone. Like, you could change the colour of the cardstock as well. So make sure you're keeping your pattern in order. That's my biggest tip. Okay. I knew Jodie would be correct. She'd be all over that, Megan. She likes to say funny. It's like having a personal assistant with you ladies. I don't need to look anything up. That's a bit lazy, isn't it? Okay, so it's about 1/4 inch. Not even that. I don't know. It's a little bit. So I've got it equal from the top and the bottom. And then I'm going to just pop this one. Now this is where your grid paper comes in handy, because we know that where the center line, we know that this grid line here is the center. So when I'm popping this piece down, I need to make sure, just hang on, I need to make sure that there is about the same amount of space between each side. Okay, now I've wriggled that a little bit. So you want to make sure they're straight. Okay, so you've got these bits on, so it's just that like that. If you wanted to use tear and tape, you can. So then, when you're popping these ones on, that's a bit crooked. Why is that crooked? And because you're using multi-purpose glue, you've got a bit of wriggle room. Okay, so you only want, see there's the score line, you only want the glue on that piece of this, the first panel. Now I have to say, when making this card, your baby wipes are going to be your best friend, because they're really great for just wiping off that excess glue. Okay, that is where you don't want it to be. Okay, I think it's the middle one that's crooked. That's all right. So we're just gonna again pop some glue in here. So did everyone have a nice Valentine's Day? I didn't think I got answers about that. I never place an order until Tuesday afternoon. Yes, I must remember that. Well, it was just that she rang me and she wanted stuff sooner rather than later. So, anyway, that's something I'm going to have to... Maybe you can share that on our team page, Megan. As an honorary Flamink. Okay. So I'm just going to pop this one on now. Put a little bit on there. So you can see that it's starting to come together. And I'm being very generous with my glue, which is why I've got some oozy glue. Okay, so now we've done our base of our card, and it will stay together. You might have to do a little bit of wriggling, but yeah. So we've done our base. We're just going to set that aside to dry. Okay, while we do some stamping and some other bits. So how hard was that? That wasn't super hard. Oh, you went out for a banquet for Chinese New Year. Yum. It's just another day there. Ah, yeah. Well, according to... Well, Duffy and I had the best morning. She refused to come into the study tonight, so I don't know what... She's got a bee in a bonnet, but she wants to be close to me, so she's outside the study door. Okay, but she's got a bee in a bonnet about she wants to be close, but she doesn't want to be in here, and... All right. Now, I've got a little bit of scrap too that I'm going to be stamping on. So this piece here is for the back, and this piece here is for the front. I'm going to stamp my words in basic grey, because there is a lot of basic grey in the paper, and I think, and smoky slate, and I think that is just a nice, going to be a nice contrast. So on the front, we're going to do Happy Birthday, and as I said, I'm using the Simply Said stamp set, which is still available. I checked that before I came upstairs. There was about 4 others that I went through going, oh, we'll use that tonight, and it's like, oh, we can't because they're now retired because they were online exclusives. So anyway, so let's grab a stamping block. All my blocks seem to have disappeared. Anyway, oh, they've found one. That's not ideal, but anyway. So I'm actually going to stamp onto my piece of scrap. So then I can just cut out the words. Was it good, Jodie? Chinese New Year banquet? Oh, yes, happy Chinese New Year to everybody, because that was last night, wasn't it? Or today? I think today's happy Chinese New Year Day. I'm going to cut that out. Now, normally I would put down my, what do you call it, my little mat thing. Foam piercing mat to stamp on when I'm using photopolymer stamps, but I just feel like winging it today and taking a risk. Alright, so now I've got my Let's Celebrate. So I'm cutting both of these out. And then I can cut them up and have them however I want. Now oh, that's a bit smudgy. Let's wipe that off and try again. I haven't even opened my stamp positioning tool yet that I pre-ordered. Well, that's what we need to talk about. So if you live in Australia and you want to become a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, this month Stampin' Up! Are doing a special, and it is that you get a brand new stamp positioning tool. So this replaces the old Stamparatus that Stampin' Up! Had a few years ago. It's completely different to that. And I need to play with it and do an honest review. But at the moment, it is only available, if you didn't get it on pre-order, it was only available for demos for anyone who signs up during February. So, yeah. I don't know what mine is. Megan, I don't know what my Chinese New Year... I want to say that it is... Oh, thanks, Megan, for posting the details of the Simply Said Mix and Match stamp set. It's actually such a good stamp set. There's so many good things in it. So we're just trimming this off. And so I'm really looking forward to it. This week I have a class at Pimpama at Halcyon Gardens. So I'm really looking forward to seeing the ladies there. So a big shout out to Jenny and Jan and all the ladies that are coming on Thursday morning. I can't wait to see you. They had a special request this month and we're doing sympathy cards. So I've made more sympathy cards in the last 3 weeks than I have made in years. And it's not because of people dying, it's because I've had requests to make them for different groups and stuff. So it's always good to have a stash of them on hand, I suppose, because they're not something that I like to make. I'm just trimming this down so that I'm happy with the borders around it. So we've got our happy birthday trimmed and we've got our let's celebrate trimmed. All right, I'm going to cut the happy birthday in half. So before I do that, I'm going to take a little bit more off each end because there's not a very big space between the happy and the birthday, so I want it to be consistent. So, oh, you're a rooster. Oh. So Megan, what's 1971? I think that it's a, I don't know what it is. It's probably something like a pig or something like that. I thought it might be a bull, but that's my birth month is a bull. So, all right. I'm just doing this last one. There's a little bit of delay there between the... All right, so I've got my happy birthday stamped. I've got my let's celebrate stamp. So let's decide, let's bring in the card and decide whether on the front layer we want now this is a choose your own adventure, 1971 and May, okay, and 5th, all right, okay, so we have, no, 8th, sorry, oh come on, a rat, oh thanks Jodie. So we can have basic grey, or we can have summer splash. I think that the basic grey has a little bit more of a contrast. So what do we think? Basic grey or summer splash? So basic grey again. I'm thinking basic grey. But if you want to see summer splash, you just let me know. Because when you put the summer splash, it doesn't really stand out, does it? Red. What does Jodie? Glenda says grey. Yep, you're the first to answer. I'm going with that, Glenda, because you just confirmed what I was thinking. All right. So, what we're going to do first, before we decorate the front, I have got my big basic grey piece everyday arch for the back. Now, it had a not a stamp set that coordinated with it, but it retired. I thought, oh, I'll use that today because I thought, oh, it'd be nice to have a rounded happy birthday. Well, we can't because it's retired. Compassionate, generous, and diligent. Oh, my lucky flowers are hydrangeas. That's hilarious because when I was growing up, at the front of our house, we had these beautiful blue hydrangeas. So we had camellias, which I planted in our garden here, and some of them come from Mum and Dad's place. But we also had these hydrangeas under the front windows, and they were the most beautiful blue, and no matter how our neighbours tried, they couldn't get their hydrangeas to be blue, and they grew in a spot where they're not supposed to grow, and it was just funny, like these hydrangeas just loved their spot. Okay, so that's going to go on the back. And I'm just, now don't worry about the fact that it's got ugly bits on them. Yeah. Oh, you didn't say rat. Oh, okay. You're probably, Glenda, you're probably a rat. No, I don't think so. Your grandmother used to grow them as well. Megan. Yeah. It's funny, my daughter and my friend's daughter, their birthdays are 5 days apart. So 6 days apart. So 1 week every year, my friend and I, our kids are consecutive in age. So like this year, Paris will be 29, and then my friend's son is 30, and then her daughter is 31, and then on the 1st of April she turns 32. So 1 week a year, they're all consecutive in ages. And my friend's daughter and my daughter, because they're Aries, they are so much alike and have incredible the similarities in how they react to things is just remarkable. Anyway, all right. So remember before we had our little, I put all of those little fussy cut pieces in the little bin, in my little plastic bin, so that I didn't lose them. And I nearly dropped the whole thing on the floor. That would have been great. Okay, so let's see what pieces we have. So we've got fussy cut pieces and die cut pieces. So I think, so this is for my niece-in-law. Is there such a thing as a niece-in-law? Oh, gladioli, Megan. Your flower is a gladioli. Oh. You could be at Mooney Ponds with, what's his name? Dame Edda. Okay, so we've got these die cut pieces and we've got fussy cut pieces. So now you've sort of got to think where you want to put your pieces. So on the front, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just bring in another coloured ink pad, and I will bring in, before we, the stamp that coordinates. So we're going to bring in this star, all right, because I think that would be fun. Now this part of this stamp set is actually downstairs waiting for Saturday's class, but so I remembered to bring up some Daffodil Delight ink. Alright. And we're going to put our stars. I'm going to put some down the bottom. And we're going to put some up the top. Because every birthday needs some stars, I think. This might put it about there. Okay. I'd add a few more. Let's just go a bit wild. Oh, I got it. So there we go. We've got some stars. Might put them all down that side, hey? Let's be a bit consistent. There we go. So we've got some stars on there. I want to make my happy birthday stand out. So I've got my Summer Splash ink. Over there. So I'm just going to get my happy birthday sentiment that I've stamped and quickly go around the edge. This card's taking a bit longer than I thought. I timed this, you know, how long it took to take this card. And without all the chatting and looking at the live chat, it only takes 20 minutes. And without making mistakes. So, but you know, it wouldn't be a Chrissy video if there weren't mistakes. Okay, so we've just gone around the edges of those with our Summer Splash ink. So that makes them just stand out a bit without having the worry of having to do a whole heap of blending with the blending brush. So I'm just going to stick my white onto my grey. And I'm probably sticking this on upside down, I know, but it doesn't matter. Adds to the card. So we're just going to line that up in the centre. I love how easy these ones are to line up. Okay, I could have put it on dimensionals, but we're not going to. All right, so then we just want to put some happy birthday on, and I'm going to put that on with dimensionals. Have I got white ones here this week? Okay, I don't have white dimensionals, but I have the little adhesive strips, so let's just use those today. Okay. So we just use, I love these adhesive strips. I had so many in my stash that I thought I better start using them. Because I bought them for Craft Alive and nobody bought any. So they've been sitting in my pop-up shop for a little while. My colours are grey, yellow, brown. Oh, okay. Actually, it's funny. I usually, when you talk about lucky colours, Megan, I usually, when I am for Melbourne Cup, usually pick a horse that has yellow in it. Oh, like the rider's wearing yellow. So that is interesting that my Chinese lucky colour happens to be yellow. Or I pick something with gold, because you know, gold's a good colour. Do other people make cards based on what people's Chinese horoscopes, so know what colours their lucky colours are? And I reckon that'd be really an interesting activity to see if it brings other people luck if you make them with their cards with their lucky colours. I'm just waffling on here. Okay. All right, so let's start putting together this card. So I want to pop, we know that April likes she's got to have a rolling pin, which I fussy cut. And this is so cute. So when I was fussy cutting the little hearts, I left them attached to the rolling pin so that I could keep them, so that's how they are on the paper, so I could keep them spaced apart the right way. Now I think on the front I'm just going to use the bits that I have fussy cut. Let's trim that piece a little bit, because I think that they are going to be easier. Now this one here, this was the edge of the page, so I don't really want to use that one. I think that this needs some cookies on it. Okay, so what's everyone else got planned for the rest of the week? I hope you've got lots of lovely things planned. We had a fabulous class at Coffee, Cake and Cards last week. We had three new people last week, so that's really lovely. But we had quite a few of our regulars weren't there, so that was sad that they weren't there, but it also gave an opportunity for new people to come as well. So, yeah, I thought I had a cupcake. And I think that, no, I think I'm going to put the cupcake elsewhere. So, how's this looking? We need to, our measuring cups need to go on here. Because, and we're going to put them on a dimensional. I've got mini dimensionals, just don't have regular dimensionals. Oh, goodness. I seem to have like 50 billion packs of mini dimensionals open downstairs and none open up here. So that's okay. But mini dimensionals are just make things a little bit easier. Now I need to move this up so you can see it. So this is going to be come on. Very quiet tonight. We've got a small group tonight. Who's the fourth person that's watching? Oh, that could be me. Alright, so we've got a piping bag, we've got a cookie sheet. We've got this thingy to put our cookies on. That looks pretty cute. I think if we add any more, like we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, should really have 5 elements on there. But I think if we add another element onto there, it's going to be too full, maybe? Oh, could we put a... I don't know. I think that's good enough. Because really you've got 3 and then 1. So I'm going to go pretend there is an uneven number on there. So we're going to put that on the front of our card. So how we're going to pop it on is we're going to take our trusty tear and tape. Trusty adhesive strips. I'm going to put 1 at the top. One at the bottom. Now the reason I didn't use a square this time is because I wanted to see as much of the paper as I possibly could. And we're going to put a bit in the middle. But I'm going to just grab a bit more. So I'm just going to take the end bit. Okay. You think it's enough too, Megan? Awesome. Now because we're using the adhesive strips rather than the dimensionals, it's much easier to get them in the right place, right? So I'm just going to take those backing paper off. Now, one of the things that some people like to do, I don't know why that one's not sticky, is they like to put a little bit of the multi-purpose glue on their dimensionals or their foam tape, just a little bit. And what that does, I don't know why the backing on that one's weird. What that does is it gives you a bit of wriggle room when you're putting it down. Okay, so I'm just going to pop this in the center. I can see my coffee machine, I can see my measuring cups down the bottom. And that looks reasonably straight. There we go. So now, the rogue piece of foam tape. Now we're just going to pop a few of our little utensils down the side here. Again, I'm using the ones that I fussy cut because I want to use the other ones on the back. So I've got my cake tin, I've got my little spatulas, now you've got to be careful you don't put too much glue on, and that's why you've got your silicone craft mat, so you can just dab a bit off. I'll put my spatulas over here. And I think we'll have some measuring cups. So I'm just using that excess glue. I might put my measuring cups here. But I'm also going to put some mixing bowls there as well. Just because we can. Okay, so there we go, we've got some mixing bowls, tiny mixing bowls. All right, so then that's the front of our card. You can put some bling on it. I'll turn it over to the back. I'm going to use my Let's Celebrate down the bottom here. And I want to put my little mixer, there. There was a cupcake. I know there was a cupcake. I've lost it. There's a cupcake. And I'm only going to put 3 things on the back. And these need to go on flat. Actually, I'm going to put my coffee and my cupcake. Oh, sticking to my fingers. That's better because she likes coffee. All right. So, and I think that what I'll do is I'll put my Let's Celebrate right down the very bottom. So the back is where you're going to write your message. Alright, so we're going to put that Let's Celebrate. Oh wow, I didn't even plan that would be that width. Alright. We'll put our coffee espresso maker. I love espresso coffee. Really do. Every time I have a proper Italian espresso, it's like, oh, it's so good. It reminds me of adventures Steve and I have had together with Paris. All right. Okay, and I think that that's quite enough on the back. All right, so I would normally put some bling on here. I don't want to use the bling that came with the suite. I'm just moving these out of the way so I don't lose them. So how about we use some, they're party dots, they're not the right colour. How about, I've got these rainbow adhesive back dots. Now I believe these are in the annual catalogue still. And I'm thinking, maybe that blue, oh look, they've got a pool party one. That's why I got them out. How good's that? Because pool party is just a few shades lighter than Coastal Cabana. All right. I take my pick tool, isn't where I left it. So let's just pop a couple of random little dots on here. You didn't have your bot friends this week. Oh, thank you, Megan. You're on the ball. I could have put yellow, but I'm thinking the pool party is okay. I know it's not your favourite colour, Megan. All right, so that is a little card. If you wanted to add Wink of Stella or anything like that, you could do. So this is the one I shared this morning. Well, they're pretty close. So this is a standard card base, and this one I just cut it a little bit because I wanted to go to the nearest 1/4 inch. Oh, you're about to order. Oh, don't order any, Megan. I've got heaps. So this is for my niece-in-law. And she's just lovely. My nephew is so lucky to have her. She's such a nice girl. So yeah, so that'll be for her birthday. And isn't that a nice thing for a baker? It's just fun. Like some people I've seen, they've decorated the inside of the card in that little tunnel bit, but really you don't see it. So I don't think you need to. And so this will fit in an envelope, a standard envelope. So yeah, I hope you like it. I do like this one. He's pretty cute. And I like the little, and see, if you make a mistake with your cutting, there's always opportunities that it doesn't really matter if you sort of hide it behind a she doesn't make flamingo cookies. That is Sam, and Sam's a friend of my nieces and nephews. So Cookies by Sam. She has the best flamingo cookies, and they're all gingerbread. So, and they're nut free, and yes. So no, my niece-in-law her business is called the Whimsy Project, and she makes pom-pom wreaths and for Christmas. And they're just so whimsical. They're so lovely. Okay, so that's it from me tonight. Thank you very much for watching. It took a bit longer than I planned because I messed up my cutting, but we got there in the end. Hope to see you next Tuesday night. Don't forget there's free shipping tomorrow, Thursday and Friday for orders over $65 in Australia. I don't know about the rest of the world. And Until next time, happy creating and bye for now.